What's going on? Welcome to episode 154 of the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast. I'm Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my very best friend, Garrett Drake.
Hello, Preston.
Hello, Garrett.
It's been a while since we've done a podcast with just the two of us. I know Jacob and I have done the most duo podcast together, but you and I, it's always an extra special pleasure. I don't mean that as an offense to Jacob. If you're listening, Jacob, please forgive me.
We did the God of War spoiler talk.
We did, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Check that out at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming if you haven't already. Subscribe to us there as well. That'll help us out tremendously.
That'd be really rad.
It'd be super awesome.
Hey, fun fact. Let me be positive before we get started, unless you have something very important to say.
I don't.
Okay. Obviously, our content is, and I say content in quotation marks because I consider content stuff that people write and produce all on their own from the ground up. Like, I think it's annoying when people just do Let's Plays and like, this is my content. I'm like, I don't think that's really content. But there's an argument to be had there. But our quote unquote content is going to pick up a lot in the summer because I will not be in school at all like I normally would be. And the internship I applied for, I did not get. They're like, you're a piece of shit, kid. We don't want you. And then I cried in the corner. So that isn't what they said. The great company, but there's probably 1,000 people that applied.
Or do you not want to?
I mean, the company's called Friendly Human. They're based out of Buckhead, and
okay,
that's a company. If I were not to work in games media in the long run,
they're not games media.
No.
Okay.
I would have loved to. I would love to work for a company like them. They're like a documentary video production company, and they do amazing work. It's awesome. It's like you see like really fancy wedding videos. Imagine that quality of video, but with like documentaries from around the world, different companies and organizations and nonprofit stuff is really cool. Anyway, that's not happening either. So I'm just going to up all of our content on It's Obvious Gaming. I'll be doing a lot of COG stuff too, but since I have all this extra free time, if I'm not working, I'm going to be working on It's Obvious stuff with hopefully you and Jacob. I know Jacob's really all in on especially the video production side of things. I'm investing in a really gnarly camera in the next week, primarily for use at E3 in a couple weeks. But in addition to all that, we can use it for all kinds of fun stuff. And now that I have extra free time, we have no excuse but to try new things for the channel this summer.
Yeah, I know my my line of work slows down a little bit during the summer. So I definitely should have some extra free time to contribute and stuff. So
it's going to be quite a good time, I imagine. Hopefully we can think of some fun stuff to do, even like if we do another skit for something. I think it's too late to do God of War, but I have some funny ideas for God of War with Jacob if he was up for it. If we had a full day of just nothing to do. But you guys can count on that. I look forward to that because we have not had anything aside from a podcast come out and of course the God of War review in a long time because I've just been completely slammed, and I'm slammed for the next 2.5 weeks with final school projects and stuff. So again, it's just going to be podcasts for a couple more weeks. But again, summer's going to be cool. So I hope you guys are willing to stick it out with us. And hopefully our subscriber base will start growing more rapidly again, like it previously was when we do that. So we'll see. But thanks for sticking with us nonetheless. How was your week, Preston?
It was pretty good. I had the week off. I'll be back to work next week.
Okay.
Thank God. I've been driving myself crazy, just being stuck in the house.
Dude, I would love to be stuck in my house doing nothing for a week. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's going to be me all summer, essentially, but still.
Yeah, since I've been stuck there for about 2 weeks. And we're at the phase where, since I've beaten God of War, I'm looking forward to the next couple of games coming out. So I'm kind of just going through my backlog right now, but I can't really focus in on one game. So I'm just jumping between a ton of stuff.
That's what it sounded like last week. You're like, I played Splinter Cell, I played Fallout, I played Skyrim.
Yeah. So just like I said, just jumping between a lot of things. It's just making me go crazy. So I'm completely ready to, get back to work after this little mini vacation and get my mind off games for a little bit. So
nice. Are you going to be in town?
Yeah, I'll be in town.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm working down in Fayetteville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which the commute is gonna suck. It's gonna be like 2 hours there and back every single day.
Yikes.
So,
hope you have a load of podcasts to listen to for all those trips. Yeah, I'm going to blow through them real quick.
For sure.
Man, I've told you I genuinely miss that line of work every now and then. I always get a little tinge of excitement when I'm at a venue somewhere and they need something repaired or like they need to pull a wire or something. I'm like, I kind of know how to do that.
It's fun. I like it.
It is, yeah. And I miss just all the boys out on the job site. Good times. I know I bitched a lot of the latter half of the Woodstock job.
I think everybody was bitching a little bit.
Yeah, but I really did like that work a lot.
Yeah.
My week was rad the last couple of days, but the first half was just school and work. And it blew as normal. I'm trying to think of anything interesting. Now, this is hilarious, actually. I had to go to a high museum in Atlanta.
Really quick, check the description down below. I'm pretty sure no matter what platform you're on, if you want to skip straight to the gaming news, you should go to the timestamps
down below. Yeah. I apologize. There have been a couple weeks in the past where I have not put timestamps because I kid you not, the only time I have is to get the podcast on YouTube and Audio Boom and for our podcast feed. And then beyond that, I am just grinding on like 1,000 things I have to do. So even to stop for 15 minutes to do the time codes is almost impossible. And by the time I do have time to get to it, I feel like everyone's already listened to the podcast. I know there's people that listen later in the week, but the vast majority of people have already listened to it. So, but I promise I'm going to put them in there this week. I should have time because we're doing this on Saturday, not Sunday. But I went to the High Museum in Atlanta, where they shot one of the scenes from Black Panther in the museum when Killmonger, I don't think you haven't seen Black Panther yet, have you? This isn't really a spoiler. It's just like a little action set piece, but Killmonger, robs the museum for, vibranium that's there and a mask that he thinks cool. But, that whole scene was shot in the High Museum. So I was there, which is kind of cool to revisit it after the movie was shot there, but I had to go there for an African work of art that was a painting that I had to do a formal analysis on, which this isn't the interesting part or the funny part of the story. This is just the sucky thing I had to do. So I was there, had to analyze the art, and I had to humiliate myself as well because my teacher required if we didn't go on the field trip day where he took most of our class from class to the High Museum, I wasn't available that day because I was, I was at the COG thing. That's why I couldn't go. Or what was it? There's something else I had to do. I can't remember. I couldn't go on the field trip, so I had to go by myself. And you require that if you do go by yourself, you have to take a selfie of yourself with the painting. Nice. So here I am in the middle of public taking selfies of myself with a painting like an idiot. If anyone doesn't know, I think selfies are just one of the worst things that's ever happened to humanity. I don't judge people for doing them, but I judge myself anytime I even slightly consider taking a picture of myself. So, and I say that and I have videos of myself all over the internet, but I feel like videos where we're talking about video games is a little different than just snapping a picture of myself.
A little different.
But anyway, I went to the gift shop with Casey afterwards, and there was this mug, which I should have had it now. I kind of wanted a cup of coffee. I regret everything, Preston. What have I done? But I bought this coffee mug that has artwork, most famous pieces of artwork from the prehistoric age all the way till the 20th century. And I kid you not, I was able to name like 18 out of the 20 pieces of art. I was like, I kind of have to buy this mug now because I actually know what this stuff is. And it looks really cool, which is funny because I've been making fun of art history or the past few weeks, and I've actually learned a lot this quarter. That's genuinely interesting. Not that I'd ever apply that to my real life, obviously, but when I see a mug with artwork on it, I can name half of it. So I bought that, and then I proceeded to draw my signature Squidward on a public art board they have in there. So left my mark. That's the only thing aside from the COD event that was kind of interesting, I guess, this week. What about you? Did you just play games?
Pretty much.
Okay. Since you've been bored at home and I have a lot of crappy schoolwork to do, let's take a moment of silence to reflect on our sorrow while I filter out this air. Okay, we're back. I apologize for having to do that every week. The air is not my friend here. It always comes on when it's most inconvenient. Is there anything else you want to talk about before I guess I'll talk about the Call of Duty event?
I mean, not really. I guess I can, before we get into that, you didn't play anything this week, did you?
I did not.
Not really. Well, you technically did. You'll
technically,
talk about that later, though. Like I said, I jumped between a ton of stuff, but I did want to highlight one thing that I somewhat got into along with my uncle. Warframe. Put about, I think my Steam thing says I have like 17 or 18 hours into Warframe this week. So I played a decent amount of it. I didn't watch the documentary that you recommended to me by Racevic. I watched the Danny O'Dwyer no-clip documentary.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Digital Extremes company. Really, really good video. Kind of made me, you know, look into their studio, gave me a lot of respect for them.
Right.
And really made, I know I've given Warframe a good 2 tries now, so I thought I'd give it the old third try. And man, that's a really cool game. Once you wrap your head around the just ton of stuff just starting up the game, there's so many menus, and just on how you just even unlock all the weapons and stuff, it's just a lot to take in. But once you somewhat wrap your head around it, which I was assisted by a random guy in the game. I was doing a mission, we were capturing these points, and I had honestly no clue what was going on. And the guys that I was in a group with in the chat down below were asking, hey, how many more rounds do you want to do? They were talking, and they were like, hey, Poobah, how many more do you want to go? And I replied, man, I have no clue what's going on, so I'm just following you guys. And that guy just started kind of prodding me like, well, what do you not know? And this guy led me for like 2 hours, just going through everything with me. He took me through the process of buying blueprints for a particular gun I thought was cool, taking me to all these high level missions to get the materials, protecting me and stuff, making sure I could actually get through these missions while I was, you know, a low ranked player. And like I said, just was super nice, helped me out a ton.
Did you ask him out?
Yeah, we're going out this weekend.
Cool.
But yeah, like I said, super nice guy. I think that was kind of a good stepping stone into the game. Just a guy kind of actually walking me through it, you know, personally, me not just reading a wiki. And yeah, I told my uncle about it, and he is kind of into it now. I see he's on Steam every night. He was playing a little bit, and we actually teamed up a couple of nights ago, and we went through the open world, the Plains of Edeon, I think that's what it was called, and did a few bounties in there, and just started running around looking at other players, at their gear and stuff. And man, there are some really cool looking high level dudes in that game. But we looked at their playtime, and every cool looking guy had like 60 or 70 days played.
Holy
in the
crap.
games that look like that. Granted, the game's been out since like 2013 or maybe even before that, so they've probably been playing it throughout this entire time. But yeah, like I said, it's a cool game. The gameplay is addictive. It's just something you can turn your brain off to, run around and shoot guys. There's different objectives. My favorite mission so far is you have to go hack a computer without the security system detecting you. And I believe the missions are randomly generated, so the area that you have to sneak through is different every time. There's lasers or cameras that you actually have to work your way through. There are events you can, you know, go through that'll lead you to the computer to hack and stuff. And that was a nice change of pace from just defending something or killing X amount of enemies or assassinating a guy or rescuing a dude. So there's a nice, you know, little variety of missions. And like I said, I think like the main objective from what I saw from the documentary is just to look really cool, which I can totally get on board with that.
Yeah, you and me both.
And for it to be a free-to-play game, man, it's crazy the amount of content and just stuff that you like I said, I've been playing for like 17 hours and I haven't even had the urge to buy anything. All the warframes you can actually earn, all the weapons you can actually earn. So yeah, it's just a really cool free-to-play game. And you know, if you're looking for something to play or a good grindy game to just either listen to a podcast or listen to music to, just to kind of burn some time, it's a really, really cool game. So thumbs up from me. I'll definitely be going back to that every now and then, especially if there's nothing else to play. So cool game.
Imagine if a handful of the OGs out there perked up when you said you've been playing Warframe finally and actually enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know how I am, though. If you get into something, I have to try it myself.
Yeah.
So that's probably another one I'll dabble in as soon as school's over. Like I said, I have plans to play through Assassin's Creed, Lost Legacy. Keep forgetting the third one. I got to finish Far Cry still.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I think that'd be a fun little multiplayer game to dabble in.
I think it's really awesome how there's like 30-something Warframes and they all have these different abilities. Like there's a bard who, instead of like playing music on like a harp or a horn or something, he sends out this like techno ball that plays like is it EDM? Is that the genre?
Probably.
Yeah, just like electronic music to like buff you up and stuff. So just their takes on classic like RPG roles are really cool. I'm playing as Excalibur right now, which is like the newbie one where I just I have this ability to where I can blind people in an AoE. I have this ability to whip out a lightsaber that shoots out beams of energy that just wrecks things. This ability to shoot spikes from the ground, and then I think my first ability is I can dart between things, stabbing it. But I'm working on getting the Rhino right now, which is just a big tank. You can up its armor. I think there's a buff that buffs people around you to up their defense and stuff. So that's what I'm working on trying to get right now. But yeah, that's pretty much.
Is there a narrative to it? I can't remember.
Yeah, there is. Okay. They added a narrative.
That's cool.
It's really confusing right now, but granted, I just started playing it, and I fought like 2 bosses. If you play the game, I just got to Mercury, so that's kind of where I am in the narrative, I guess. But yeah, there is a narrative. But there's pets too. There's just this update with pets. I got an egg and I'm heating it, but I have to get this blueprint to power it to actually crack the egg open or whatever. So
you just throw it against a wall.
I could. I don't know why he hasn't done that. But yeah. So I played that. I played started getting into Black Ops 3 on PC. I've been playing a little bit of that when I've had some spare time. That's fun. I enjoy Black Ops 3 a lot. Just getting accustomed to that, because I'll probably be picking up Black Ops 4 on the PC, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I've gone back to Fallout 3. Fantastic video. I cannot remember the dude's name, but just YouTube Fallout 3 is better than you think. And there's I'm not going to get into it at all, but there's a ton of Bethesda Fallout 3 hate on the internet, and this guy kind of takes to task all the complaints about Fallout 3 and really goes into detail why the biggest complaints of Fallout 3 don't exist, or the complaints that you have about Fallout 3 are actually somewhat prevalent in New Vegas as well. So if you're putting New Vegas on a pedestal for these particular reasons, and say Fallout 3, in terms of like morality decisions, you can't, there aren't multiple ways out of quests, etc., stuff like that. Those criticisms of Fallout 3 aren't necessarily true. So it's a fantastic like 1.5 to 2 hour video, and watching that really upped my nostalgia for Fallout 3. And I haven't played Fallout 3 in forever, so I'm going through that again, and I just absolutely love that game. Just that greenish hue over the game just is so nostalgic for me. Right. And man, it's such a good game, dude. That going into VATS with the combat shotgun just point blank to somebody's head,
and exploding,
literally to this day never gets old. Yeah, it's so cool.
I have countless memories from that game.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't played it in such a long time, so I'm playing it differently. Like, I never played a stealth build in Fallout 3 when I initially played through it, or a high charisma build, so that's my main focus of this game. So I'm getting out of situations just through talking, or sneaking around, pickpocketing or breaking into vaults and stuff to get materials to progress the quest further. I never did that in my initial playthroughs. Back when I was in high school, I was just running around just shooting things point blank in the face. So it's really cool playing through it this way. I'm not really modding with it too much. The only mod I did was a quick start mod, which just got me out into the Capital Wasteland, not having to go through everything, which was awesome, because that was always just a slog to go through.
Right.
If you wanted to, start a new playthrough. I did do one mod that actually took the greenish hue out of it, which it looked cool, but the nights were so freaking dark. I literally couldn't see anything, so I had to take that mod. And then I did a mod to make the faces look better, which they do look better, but where the neck cuts off,
you can like see the line.
Yes, and their face is way lighter than their body skin tone, so
it's like they're wearing masks.
Exactly. So that's a little odd, so I actually might take that mod out. But Moria Brown from Megaton, the one who gives you the shit, her faces always look freaking weird, so she actually looks normal now.
Okay,
so that was kind of worth it, just to see her without just a insane face. But yeah, I absolutely love that game. So I've been playing through that. Mass Effect 3 or Andromeda, I've been playing through that some more. I actually put a decent
I'm amazed all the stuff you're bouncing between. What in the world?
I actually put pretty much a full day into just kind of going through that game, and the combat's fun in that game, so I'm just having fun running around doing
something. You are living the life right now, dude. I would give anything to just have that much free time for at least a week, like having a week off, just to even dabble in a game that It's like Mass Effect. So.
NCAA 14. I started a new season in that with the 2018-19 rosters. So I'm playing through with all like the new players for this coming year with Georgia. Gosh, dude, there's more stuff. I think I played so much stuff that I'm just forgetting. Like I said, I bounced between so much stuff. So looking forward to Vampire next month. That's the next thing I'm looking forward to get my hands on. Interested to see the not Beyond Detroit Become Human reviews to see if I am interested in picking that up later this. Is it like this week or next week? It's pretty soon.
I think it may be this week actually. That or the tail end, I can't remember.
Yeah, so I'll see how that reviews. But yeah, that's all I can remember off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm missing stuff, but anyways, yeah.
Cool.
You played a little game that a few people online are talking about right now.
Yes. Mostly the ravenous haters primarily discussing it. But yeah, I attended the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 reveal event for COD Connected, courtesy of Activision, and it was super rad. It was actually
they paid you to say it was super rad.
Yeah, I'm paid to say all this. They had a large sum of money acquired from Activision to say all this. The event was held at the Jet Center in LA, where it's like a big airplane hangar where they had the keynote in one hangar, and then they had the demo section in another hangar. So that was kind of cool. It was decorated very well. It was a really cool place to be. But it was funny at the reveal event during the keynote where they were playing all the trailers. I kid you not, Preston, that was the loudest sound I have ever heard in my entire life. And I've been to 2 Metallica shows, and you remember how loud the Metallica show was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been louder
like
than
you're talking about the actual presentation.
Yeah, the presentation.
Loud. Okay.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the keynote?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I texted you because I didn't know if you're there or not. I wanted you to start waving. I wanted to see you.
Oh yeah. But I was sitting right next to Bobbia and Ryan McCaffrey the whole time. Nice. So it was funny. I sat like a seat over from Ryan McCaffrey. I'm like, I'm not stealing anyone's seat. He's like, no. I'm just saving this one for my guy. And then Bobbia shows up, and internally I'm like, Bobbia. I saw Bobbia at an EA thing once too. It was funny. I always think that when I see him. But anyway, the keynote, I mean, when I say loud, I mean like the decibel range, because the range, this goes back and forth, but the range of human hearing is between 120 dB and 130, and I swear they're pushing like 123 at least. It was un-effing believable how loud it was, Preston. So I didn't want to be that guy that's like covering my ears like a bitch, but there were like 8 people around me covering their ears. It was so loud. I don't know what they were thinking.
That kid at the sporting event with the giant headphones on.
No, don't get me wrong. It was awesome. Like the trailers are much more impactful, obviously, when they're that loud. Like every gunshot, every grenade and explosion, it's like you're getting kicked in the face and just like sledgehammered over the head. But it was so loud that you could tell that about halfway through the presentation, some director was like, you need to turn that shit down, because it went down significantly about halfway through the presentation. But the reveal event was cool. It's just cool being in a live setting like that and seeing it all.
Yeah.
But long story short, I played on PC and PS4 collectively for about 3.5 hours. And PC feels excellent. I mean, obviously, we've been playing a lot of shooters on PC since we acquired our PCs between like PUBG and Far Cry and Lawbreakers and Quake and all kinds of stuff on PC. But it feels really, really solid on PC. And this is all alpha build stuff. And Beanox is working on this one as well, like they mentioned. And
I haven't seen actual PC footage.
They didn't allow capture for PC. Okay. For PC it was only PS4. But there weren't any bugs. There were bugs on the PS4 version, but not on the PC version. The PS4 version crashed in 2 different demos when I was playing, but which is understandable. But PC feels excellent, man. I mean, like I compare it in my preview piece that I wrote for COG that it reminds me of Destiny 2 in the sense where Destiny 2 on console and PC feel different from each other, but they both feel right for their respective platforms. And that's how it feels in Call of Duty. Like it feels very different on controller than it does in keyboard and mouse, but keyboard and mouse feels very good. And like you mentioned, you've been playing Black Ops 3 on PC where you're like can wall run and rocket boost and stuff. It's just madness the entire time with the traversal. Whereas this is still boots on the ground with the exception of that one character that has the grapple gun. That's set to a cooldown, so you can only use it a few times a match anyway. So it very much is boots on the ground. In that sense, it felt really, really solid on PC, and it didn't feel too fast-paced either. Because I can Lawbreakers was awesome on PC, but I was kind of bad at it. I always had to use characters with like a wide spread of their guns because I was so inaccurate on PC. But felt good. Really, really enjoyed that as well. I played on 3 different maps, all just traditional 3-lane Call of Duty maps, but they were cool. The settings were cool. There was one called Seaside, which I can't remember exactly. You'd think that one would be on the beach, but it wasn't. But there's another one called Contraband where you are on a beach. So I don't know if they swapped the names by accident. But I like the maps a lot. All the guns feel and look and sound awesome. I remember one of the points they made, just even minor details for this year there. The sound designs intended to be very heavy and impactful, and like the shells fly out of the gun. You can hear them hitting the ground, and like the muzzle flashes look very cool. Again, I say that, and in my written piece, I say this repeatedly. All the changes that they've brought to this Call of Duty are not groundbreaking or innovative at all, but for some of them they brought to Call of Duty, it's fresh for Call of Duty. In that sense, I like them for that reason, because it feels like good old-fashioned Call of Duty, and I say from the outside looking in, it looks like every other Call of Duty that's come before, but when you play it, you can feel the differences, most notably with the healing mechanic now. I got used to that quick, because when I first said that, I knew, like, you play World War II's campaign, you have to heal yourself. But doing that in a multiplayer setting is new for Call of Duty. So I liked taking a few shots, and if I survive, I can sprint and heal up as I'm still sprinting. Like they said, they make an emphasis on always remaining on the go in that game. You can vault and keep shooting. You can sprint and keep shooting with the gung-ho perk. And you can also heal while you're on the go. So that's also set to a cooldown. So when you heal is a tactical advantage or a tactical decision you have to make constantly. Like sometimes I take a few shots and have half my health, but if I heal up, then later on, if I take even more damage, I'm not going to be able to heal up for a certain amount of time. So choosing when you're going to heal is pretty cool. And when other players try to hide and heal, it gives you a chance to move forward and try to get closer to them.
I read somebody talking about how they were using that to their advantage, where if in a firefight, they both retreated, and he just guessed that the other player was assuming he was going to heal, but instead he rushed him and caught him healing behind something and was able to take him out. So
I like that a lot, and you can feel that it takes a wee bit longer to kill people in this one, especially with one of the gear items is body armor, and I always wear body armor because it gives you just a tiny bit more health. So
you think that'll be as aggravating as like Juggernaut? Or?
Oh, definitely not. No, okay. Yeah, it because if you hit people in the head, they're still going to die. It only protects their chest. So if you hit them in the chest, it'll take maybe like a split second longer to kill them, but if you shoot them in the head, it's the same as always. There's even perks that do extra damage to the chest and head to counteract body armor, which I always had that equipped as well because I constantly encounter people with it on. But I like that there are actual firefights. And one of my biggest complaints with just the last few Call of Duty's multiplayer is that I swear it feels like a contest of who shoots first. Because every time I would shoot first, I'd always get the kill, but if someone else shot first, I would always die. And that wasn't necessarily that fun to me. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing for Call of Duty because a lot of people enjoy that, but I've always been attracted to shooters where there's actual firefights like Doom or Halo or even Battlefield to an extent. And this one feels like you're actually engaging in firefights, especially now that you can heal yourself and retreat like we talked about. So I like that a lot. I mean, it doesn't feel too fast paced. The guns feel super heavy, and like the sound design and like the footsteps when you're running around just feels beefy. I mean, granted, I was wearing a very good pair of headphones as well, but feels and looks awesome. And the healing stuff I'm really into as well. I like the addition of Fog of War on your mini map where you can't see you can see the whole map, but there's only in your general vicinity, there's like a little bubble that shows where people are near you. So you can't see where people are like down the road or something like that. So I think that's cool as well. It helps me because I feel like my eyes are always glued to that in past games. Even in Halo, I feel like my eyes are glued to the minimap the whole time. So I like just being able to glance at it and see that little bubble. And there's one character called, what's his name? I've already forgotten.
The Pulse guy?
Yeah, he's basically Pulse from Rainbow Six Siege. But he has this item you can equip if you choose to equip it. That's his default item where it's called equipment is what it's called.
I guess it's like the Hanzo arrow.
Pretty much, yeah. So you can shoot a dart wherever you want on the map, and it creates a wider bubble where you can see your people coming. It's great for objective-based modes where you're defending something, or like in Domination, say you're trying to capture a circle by yourself. You can shoot one where you think people may come from, and it creates this wide bubble, so it gives you a huge heads up as to when they're coming. So speaking of that, I think it's awesome that they've like they mentioned, they refined all of the characters, whether they're old characters or new characters, all of their abilities and supers and stuff, and how they benefit the entire team. Because in Black Ops 3, I could see the ideas were there, but I never quite felt like they were working in unison together. Like I always forgot. I mean, obviously the characters had supers and stuff or ultimates in Black Ops 3.
As far as I remember, and like I said, I'm playing through Black Ops 3 again right now. And I could be wrong, but based on my limited knowledge of the specialists, all of their abilities are only beneficial
to them.
It's either busting out a weapon or making their speed upgraded or them have more ammo. There isn't a like team benefiting ability, or if there is, it's like one. So
yeah, that's what I felt like. What it reminds me of, it feels like a fast-paced Call of Duty version of Rainbow Six Siege, where all of the characters have obviously personalities, like their voice lines and everything are entertaining, but also their abilities and the gear they possess completely feels like Siege in that sense. Like there's even a guy that has barbed wire, like you can equip in Siege, but it's cool for Control specifically, where you defend an objective and someone has to try to capture it in 2 different points of the map. And there's many areas where you can drop barbed wire, or if people go through it, it'll obviously slow them down and also damage them. And then that guy, his name's Torque, by the way, is the character. And then he has his ultimate is a giant barricade that not only barricades an entire entrance, but it emits like a magnetic radiation that damages people if they get too close to it.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty cool. And the Vision Pulse guy, I think he had that ability in Black Ops 3, but he could see the players through walls and stuff, but your teammates cannot. Whereas in this one, while he has his visor equipped, he can constantly see the players on the map.
That's the Sparrow lady
from Black Ops 3.
Yeah, she had the pulse that would shoot through the walls, like you said, and display the enemies.
Yeah, so he can see it constantly, but it also benefits your team because it just blips for everyone. So if you're running around and your teammate has that equipped, it just blips for you every few seconds. So it isn't as beneficial as playing as that I keep wanting to call them operators for that character. Yeah. But it does help regardless if you're on a team. So I'm not entirely sure on all of them, but I know obviously some are catered to offense, some are catered to defense. I constantly knock over these water bottles. And then some are supportive. And like the one guy with the grapple gun and the gravity slam thing, and he's the guy that had like the dual like knife things that would go into the
gravity
ground.
Spikes. I think. Yeah.
So he has just this big one, like battering ram that he does it with now. And exactly like they describe in the multiplayer reveal when they're talking about it, it is so satisfying to shoot your grapple gun and fly towards someone and then activate your super and just ground slam and kill like 4 people. Very satisfying.
Now, does he have an ability that actually benefits the team, or is he just one of the...
That's what I can't remember. I'd have to go back and watch my gameplay, but I think everyone has some sort of ability that does benefit the entire team.
Okay.
So I can't remember what all of them are individually because I only played as a handful of characters, because every time you do play, which is something you and I talked about on the phone, which may or may not be controversial for some, is when you choose specialists at the beginning of a match, not everyone can play as the same characters.
I love that.
Me too.
That's great.
Again, because that places an even greater emphasis on teamwork, again, where everyone's their own individual character with individual gear and equipment and abilities that just kind of benefit everyone. And I've always been a fan of objective-based game modes and shooters like domination and capture the flag and control and search and destroy and stuff. And now all these characters actually feel like they're making an impact on the match with the stuff they have, and everyone else is contributing to it. So that change I love. I think that's amazing. I love the healing mechanic. It feels really good. Like I said, there's actual firefights. The Fog of War completely reimagines the mini map.
Well, now that I think about it, the guy with the gravity spikes, whatever his name is, I guess that is beneficial to the team if you need him to go into
go in and just like clear an area.
Clear it out. Yeah.
Totally.
So I guess you don't necessarily have to be like aiding somebody to help the team as a whole. So
right.
Yeah.
Pig 10 is back. I like that grenades, you have to choose between, like, say, a frag grenade or your specialist's default item. For example, vision pulses, or not vision pulse. The vision pulse is the item he has, that guy we were talking about. You'd have to choose that over a grenade of some sort.
Okay.
So I like that. Again, not only are they set to cooldowns, but if you throw a grenade, like my first couple matches, I used a grenade, and once you throw it, man, it's gone for a while. It's like Destiny in that sense, where if you throw a grenade, it takes a while to recharge. So people aren't just...
Even if you die and respawn?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So even, so you have to choose wisely. People aren't going to spam grenades anymore, which I appreciate. You can't just randomly throw a grenade across the map. Well, you can and get a kill, but then you're not going to have it back for a while when you say you want to clear like a bigger area. So all these little miniature changes, and I fully admit this when I talk about it, they aren't at all new ideas. But for Call of Duty, they're refinements that I think really do benefit just like the core gameplay loop that's everyone knows and loves. And that's the way I describe it in the title, is that it feels familiar. Yes, it even looks familiar, but with all those minor tweaks, it feels very fresh. And I had, like, admittedly a ton of fun. And I got, it's the weirdest thing. I got so bored of World War II very quickly. And not because it's boots in the ground of the setting or anything, but I think it's because, like I said, it's that really Twitch shootery feel where it's whoever shot first. And again, Call of Duty is still a Twitch shooter, but it feels just a little slower paced, and all those little minor tweaks just make it feel really, really good. And we didn't even mention the health bars above enemies' heads, which I thought was brand new. And even people around me while playing were asking, like, is this a first? But apparently they had that in Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare, yeah.
Which I guess I forgot because I avoided Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. Was that in multiplayer, that health bars? It was
in multiplayer, yeah.
Okay, because I guess jumping to World War II and then not having health bars, it just crossed my mind. But I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that, because there's like 30 people around me that were all like, that's new. So I guess it feels newer because it's like much larger, and you can see like all the damage you're doing. But I like that as well. I like being able to see how much damage I'm doing, because it's always annoyed me.
Which one you need to shoot at first.
Yeah.
Lower health or whatever.
Because it's always annoyed me in Call of Duty when I like just massacre someone with an entire clip, and I swear they should be dead, and they just like turn around and shoot me once and I'm dead. But now I can see the damage I've actually done.
Yeah.
So I liked it a lot, man. All the maps I played on were cool. All the individual characters I had a chance to play were great. And I'm not trying to defend the game either. Like, I know people are like, you're paid by Activision, but I always admit when I think something kind of sucks. Like, I ripped Curse of Osiris and Destiny 2 to shreds, and I played that at Bungie, and that was a super cool experience as well, but I didn't shy away from criticizing it. And I'm sure there are criticisms to be had for Black Ops 4 upon its final release. I think
that's a big argument against the people thinking, like IGN in particular, that are Activision shills. I mean, look at Dustin Legary, whatever. He freaking rips Destiny an new asshole.
Yeah,
he gets sent up there, just like you do and stuff.
It's I told you the funniest thing about Destin. He is a bold man in those interview rooms, man. Like I always ask like nice questions. I'm like, oh, when will we see this, or how does this work? And Destin, I'll never forget. The last time I was there when Destin, I can't remember, it was some controversy about Destiny at the time. I've already forgotten what it was, but he like blatantly called him out on it, and everyone just sat there in silence. And I'm like trying to hide my face, and they're like, we're not going to address that at the moment. And he's like, why not? So I can't imagine how some people have reacted to Call of Duty, but obviously, like we talked about, the vocal minority on the internet is just ravenous and hateful and unrelenting. And I like I said, I'm honest about it. I really did have a lot of fun with it, not because, and it's easy to get caught up in the moment too. Like I said, just being at the event and seeing all these cool people and meeting people, it's a cool experience that I won't deny. And it's easy to be positive about something. But again, I've been in those situations before and have criticized stuff that I don't like. And I genuinely did like everything I experienced in Black Ops 4 so far. And we haven't tried zombies. I think the zombie stuff sounds cool. Now, I'm not a hardcore zombies fan, but the fact that it's launching with 3 individual zombies experiences is cool, I guess. And not to mention Blackout. We can talk about that if you want.
And just to go back to the if I didn't watch the reveal, if I didn't read anything or listen to you go into the in depth on some of the changes, like you didn't even talk about the weapon specific mods.
Yeah, that too. There's like that's what I mean. There's like so many little things.
Recoil, the new animations they've somewhat messed with that gives it, like you said, a different type of feel. Just watching that initial multiplayer reveal trailer that's on YouTube or Facebook, I can completely see where this was like Black Ops 3. So I think that's something they probably need to do a little bit better in these trailers, or releasing something different that actually kind of goes in depth. Because once you watching the event, or like I said, talking to you and hearing about these different changes, makes me like way more excited and way more interested in the game than just looking at, because like I said, looking at that initial multiplayer reveal, like, oh yeah, it's whatever, it looks like Black Ops.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I am I was somewhat excited for World War II when it came out as well, and I kind of dropped off, so who knows how into this game I'm going to be. But just talking to you and other people's reactions to just watching the gameplay and watching that event, I'm more high on the multiplayer aspect of this Call of Duty that I've been what am I trying to say? I'm more hyped for this Call of Duty than I've been for another Call of Duty multiplayer wise for a long time.
Yeah, same with me. what was I going to say? So Blackout, obviously they finally announced that they do in fact have a battle royale included. I have a prediction that the reason why they're being so secretive at the moment is because of primarily their player count. I think we're all predicting this, but there's obviously going to be less than 100 people or 100 players. Now, if they do have 100 players or even more for that matter, I mean, that would blow my mind truly.
Yeah, and I think the reasoning behind that is getting that to work on. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, you could have that standard Call of Duty 60 frames per second on PC, obviously, yeah. But how are they going to keep? Because that is a staple of Call of Duty. It's always been like this.
It would feel different without 60 frames.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
And I don't know. Would they sacrifice that to get the higher play? Granted, I think Fortnite can run it
60 on
frames
console
on at least the pro versions or whatever. So yeah, that'd be kind of my question, is just how the game would run, because with it, granted, Fortnite isn't as graphically intensive.
There's also not vehicles. There's not weapon attachments and stuff. So
yeah, it seems a little more at least from the eyes. I have no clue what programming goes into the graphics of Fortnite, right. But just based on me not knowing anything, just the eye test, it seems like Fortnite should be run way easier on console than Call of Duty. Yeah.
I feel like, and now again, it could be just a marketing plan that they have just to hold it off until probably E3 or even slightly beyond. I imagine we'll see Blackout officially at E3 for sure.
And they have to do a beta.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's the one mode that they have to do a beta for.
Yeah, the private beta from pre-ordering, it would be in their best interest to have that included for sure.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say about Blackout? I feel like they would have come out swinging if it's as gnarly as people are hoping it's going to be. Because in the interview room, the first thing I asked them, like, how specific can you be about Blackout? And they're like, we literally can't say anything. And like the Activision PR guy standing over me, like, don't you dare. Like looking at him, because they get in big trouble if they mention anything they're not supposed to. And so they couldn't say anything, but they say it's super cool. They're like, we can't say like we have a ton of fun with Office. I mean, granted, any developer's going to probably say that about their own game, but I believe them. I mean, I think I enjoy Battle Royale.
Based on how they explained it, it sounds
rad.
Really awesome.
With the
way more stuff than I thought it was going to be.
And I like how they describe it. This is Battle Royale done Black Ops style. Like you and I talked about it. The map is not only 1,500 times the size of Nuketown, but it's an amalgamation of all past classic Black Ops maps that people know and love, including zombie locations and stuff. Yeah. So that sounds really, really awesome. Not only would it be like a giant nostalgia trip, but it's just this giant map where it all interconnects. There's Battle Royale, people duking it out with each other with vehicles, which we haven't been in direct control of.
Land, air, and sea.
Yeah, that's insane.
Crazy.
Like, how's that going to feel in Call of Duty? Obviously, we've driven Jeeps in the past. We've driven tanks in the past. Have we ever? I don't think we've driven boats aside from like campaign missions.
No, not multiplayer.
So what will that feel like in Call of Duty now? It's weird to think about, but that just sounds really, really cool.
All weapons, just just a Black Ops just collection. You know, that's a really cool idea.
I'm especially attracted to the air vehicles, because I can't think of a battle royale that I know of personally where there are air vehicles.
Yeah, there isn't one.
So that's wild. And I also question: will you spawn into a match empty-handed like every other battle royale, or can you create a class before you go in? I feel like that would be more Call of Duty style. But then again, I don't know how it would be. Obviously, we know nothing. I mean, maybe you scatch, because I think it'd be cool if you spawn with just a knife or like a pistol. Yeah. Or maybe not even anything.
I mean, I think that's kind of just granted, they're doing it the Black Ops way, like you said, but I think that seems like a common staple that you would kind of have to keep for a game mode like that, is everybody starting with the same thing. Because if you start with a weapon, that kind of, I guess, defeats the purpose if you're picking the weapon you want to go out and scavenge. And
it makes sense for Call of Duty too, because you can pick up any number of guns with any number of attachments. Maybe there's even perk machines somewhere you can pick up certain perks.
Sure, for sure.
That'd be awesome. So I think that just sounds really, really exciting for Call of Duty. And that's definitely what I'm most interested in, even beyond the tweaks that I really enjoy with the competitive side of the multiplayer. I think Blackout has a lot of potential.
Yeah. For sure.
So I'm very excited to see that in action.
Absolutely.
But another guy asked about story, and obviously they didn't blatantly outright say we have no single player campaign. They just like offhanded.
They did.
They sort of did. They said it saying
our
story
traditional
campaign, but
weaving the story
into the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And we asked about that in the interview. We're like, can you elaborate that on it a bit more? And they said, now I don't know if I think people have made different points. I try to bring it all together, but they said that with Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, they intentionally tried to tell stories in different ways. Now, Black Ops 1 and 2, the only differences I can see are just the time period and the setting. But Black Ops 3, obviously,
Black Ops 2 had choices.
That's true. I forgot about the choices. And then Black Ops 3 had the which we did not enjoy that campaign, but had the co-op and everything.
Yeah, it just made no sense.
No. So I did like the armory aspect in that campaign, where you'd be in like your little base and can choose your weapons and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool. It didn't make it a better campaign experience, but that was a nice feature. So I get what they're saying when they say with each iteration of Black Ops specifically, they attempt to tell stories in new ways. Now, one could argue, well, maybe you ran out of time or didn't have the ability to create a campaign in addition to this blackout mode. Anyone can make these arguments. We don't know for sure, but they claim that they're just trying to continue their tradition of telling a story in a new way, where they weave the narrative into the single player character missions that they have for all the specialists they have. Competitive multiplayer, zombies, and even Blackout. They claim that the story is going to interweave in between all of that, and the time setting is in between Black Ops 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, I don't really care that much. I mean, I don't need to have a campaign every year. I've had a billion Call of Duty campaigns.
If this was Infinity Ward ditching the campaign,
I would be upset.
I'd be way more upset. Mm-hmm. But just like we've said numerous times, with Black Ops 3 being one of my least favorite campaigns,
mm-hmm.
I'm more fine with Treyarch just kind of doing something different this time.
Yeah, same with me. So I can live with that. And all the modes that they have at launch, at least, I think, are great.
Yeah, if the Blackout mode is as fleshed out or as crazy as it seems, along with the multiplayer and the extra zombies, like that seems like a decent amount of content, in my opinion.
Me too. I agree. I mean, I know people, again, can argue that, like, oh, without a single player campaign, is it worth $60 and stuff? But I think their 4 modes equaled out pretty well.
And there's no and I would not bet any money on this, but I did see something going around about there not being a season's pass for this game.
Mm-hmm. That I don't know.
To add maps and stuff, kind of like what Battlefront 2 did, just giving you at least the map content for free. Maybe that to make up for not being a campaign either. Granted, I have absolutely no source for that whatsoever. It was just kind of a rumor some dude was claiming he knew about it and stuff. So take that with a grain of salt for sure.
Yeah, it may or may not be true. It seems like all of the rumors so far for both Battlefield and Call of Duty have been true.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been thinking since the reveal event, that Han Solo quote in Force Awakens, where he's like, the Jedi, the Sith, the Force, it's true. All of it's true. It's like what I was thinking of when they're revealing Black Ops, because it was like to the T what everyone had speculated on. Yeah. Even the same with Battlefield 5's title, which we'll talk about in a bit. That official announcement is exciting. Mm-hmm. But I think as far as just experiencing the game and playing it, that's pretty much it. If I'm forgetting something, I don't know. If you guys actually want to read my in-depth thoughts or see the video version of it, that's all on COG's YouTube and their website. You know, I get when people have bones to pick with stuff I say about me thinking all the changes are right, because I personally like them a lot. Mm-hmm. I can understand why other people may not like them, and I don't hold that against them. That's why I wish we could be a civil society on the internet and be like, I disagree with you, but I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that'll never happen. But yeah, that's there if you want to check it out. And in addition to playing the game, I've already told you this story, but I'll tell everyone else because this is just mind-blowing. So I had a truly surreal experience at this event because obviously there was a ton of famous people there. There were athletes and MLS stars and influencers. Like Greg Miller was there, Andrew Renee. Like I said, I sat next to Ryan McCaffrey. Ali A was there, which is funny. He sat across from Greg Miller while they're doing their demo. And just, it's so funny, just all the Ali A stuff going around, especially with PewDiePie, and then seeing him there was funny. But all those people were there, but what was coolest for me is that when I was sitting in the keynote, I was flipping through Twitter as the counter was going down, and I saw that Jonathan Vigil of the Ghost Inside, which is my favorite band, was at the event. He had taken a picture somewhere in the venue, and I noticed he was wearing like a maroon t-shirt and a black hat, and I was like, I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye out for him. Maybe I'll see him, and that'd be kind of cool if I could just meet him again. So that was in the back of my mind. Go through the keynote. It ends. I immediately go to my demo session on PC. Sit down on the PC, I'm just hanging out. The moderator's kind of getting everything together. And all of a sudden, Jonathan Vigil sits right next to me on my left. Now, there's multiple factors of this that are mind-blowing. It'd be one thing if I just casually knew of the ghost inside. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That guy of that band I've heard of, and I just happen to run into him there. That'd be one thing. But for me to not only be a massive fan, and it'd be that specific member who has written all the lyrics that have resonated with me so deeply, to not only be there, but sit next to me and play on my team in Black Ops 4 that's like destiny, if you ask me. I mean, that just doesn't make sense how unbelievable that is.
Yeah.
So he sits right next to me. I'm like, holy shit. So, and I'm not like a fanboy or anything. I just really respect the guy, and I'm really a huge fan of his lyrics, because I have said this many times. The Ghost Inside, I mean, all of their music means a lot to me, but a few other songs have literally changed the direction of the path I'm taking for my career. And one of their songs is the reason why I moved on from SMS and decided to go to school. So in addition, of course, to my relationship with Christ, I mean, those intermingled have really directed the path I take. But anyway, he sits right next to me. I'm like, this is mind blowing. But at this point, we all have our headsets on, and the moderators kind of get everyone going into the demo. So we play through a full match, and everyone can communicate on their team. So I'm on the same team as Vigil playing Call of Duty. So when the first match ends, the moderator has to change a few things. So we take our headsets off. And I'm like, hey, Jonathan. And he looks at me. I guess he was taken aback, because people typically call him Vigil as his last name. He's like, oh, Jonathan? Yeah, what's up? I'm like, I got to be honest, man. This is totally surreal, because not only are we playing the new Call of Duty, but I'm sitting next to, or I'm a huge fan of the Ghost Inside, is what I said. He goes, oh, no way, man. That's so cool. And I was like, yeah, I kid you not. And this is a true story. I almost wore my Fury and the Fallen Ones t-shirt today. It's the album cover from their first album, which is my favorite album. He's like, oh, dude, that'd have been so sick. You should have. He's like, what's your name? And I introduced myself, and we started talking. And we had time in between multiple matches to just talk. So I ended up talking to him for about 15 minutes about just different stuff. And first we talked about like what I do like for COG and what I do at for sound and stuff. I told him that I just started doing sound in the Masquerade. He's like, oh, dude, Masquerade's one of my favorite venues in the country, man. He's like, we've always loved playing there. I was like, have you been to the new one? He's like, no, man, we played at the old one, and then the bus accident happened, so we haven't been able to play at the new one. So we kind of went into that, and I told him like what a crazy story that was. And this was so cool to hear, because this is what I imagined when they went through the bus accident they went through. I'll say this very quickly for those that don't know. The band had a insane tour bus accident 3 years ago, and it killed the driver, and all of them are like half cyborg now from all the surgeries they've had to have from the injury. Like their drummer lost his leg. Vigil's on a cane with like these gnarly scars on his leg. So he showed me all that stuff. But he told me the craziest part about all of it is that he's having to live his own words that he wrote, because Ghost Inside's always been a very uplifting band, and especially in times of like opposition and struggle. So he said it's been really weird to have to live his own words, because he said he's always been on a stage being the guy like telling other people about doing that, but now he has to live his own lyrics, which I thought was so cool to hear. And that's exactly what I imagined when I heard their songs after the bus accident. I'm like, man, they're truly living what they say. And he told me that they just had their recent practice, which I was aware of, and they said that it went well, but they said they're nowhere close to touring again, because they're all just not like emotionally distraught, but just physically distraught. So like half of them can hardly walk. So the practice was cool, but he said that they're a long way out from touring, but he said they're hoping to start working on a new album in the near future. And he said his writing process has evolved exponentially since the wreck. He said it's still uplifting, but the way he approaches that mentality is totally different after the accident, which I thought was cool. And that's when I went to tell him this is the coolest part too. It's almost like he read my mind. I told him, I was like, your music, all of it means a lot to me. And I was like, but Greater Distance, which is the second track off of their second album, Returners, I'm like, that song is my favorite song of all time. I was like, every word in that song means so much to me. I'm like, I even made a little short film in my film school about that song because it means so much to me. He goes, oh, Greater Distance. Yeah. And he looks at me and he says my favorite line from the song. It's the last line of the song. He says, and everything's just within your reach. Because that song's about pursuing your dreams and your goals beyond what lies in your path, or in spite of what lies in your path. Which always has meant a lot to me. And he says, he just looks right at me and goes, and everything's just within your reach. I'm like, you're damn right it is. I'm like, Vigil, I'm like, the reason I'm here is because of that song. And the fact that I'm sitting next to you is insane. I was like, I want to do this full time, and I'm just freelancing right now, and I have to, build a resume in order to do that. But I'm like, it's because of that song. I'm here, man. It was cool. We just talked about life and Ghost Inside and video games and stuff. He told me he streams a lot of Hearthstone and World of Warcraft and stuff in his off time, because obviously he's not touring. So he just tries to stream in the meantime. But he said his label actually got him to the event. And Crown the Empire was there too, apparently, if any fans of Crown the Empire. But It was just amazing. We talked and we shook hands and went our separate ways after the demo, but it was rad. So
Nice.
it just was a really, really cool experience. I mean, I could have met any number of people there, but the fact that he was there was just awesome.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to him that I'd met him years ago at a show and took a picture with him, he and Zach, and he asked about Zach. So I was like, that's kind of cool that he would ask about a friend, but
Yeah.
it was just awesome. Really, really fun time. Not only was it getting to play
really cool.
Call of Duty and actually enjoy the game, but meet him and sit next to him.
Yeah.
So
That's really cool.
it was rad. But speaking of celebrities, this is a side note. Casey and I were at Pond City Market in Atlanta. Have you been there yet?
No. I did years and years and years ago. I did some construction
On that building?
on that building.
Yeah.
That's as close as I've been in it.
That's a nice place. They have a lot of good restaurants there, but we went there with her dog, Peachy, who's like a boxer mixed with a pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there, and she was going to wait outside with the dog at a table while I went in and got our food.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was in there, she was sitting on a bench, and she claims this kid walks by who she thought she recognized from something. And he
Mm-hmm.
walks up and he goes, "Hey, what kind of dog is that?" And she goes, "Oh, it's a boxer mixed with a pit bull." He goes, "Oh, she's so cute." And he like pats her on the head and just walks away. She didn't think anything of it. But like halfway through our meal, she's like, I think I just met Will from Stranger Things. And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "This kid that I swear I recognize just came up and pet Peachy and just like walked away." It's like, okay, that's kind of funny. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know if it was him, but he kind of looked like Will from Stranger Things." I'm like, "That's cool." And last night at like 2 a.m., Casey was like, "Yeah, that was definitely him," because like 30 other people saw him at Pond City Market yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So that was funny that he just walks up and he's like, "Hey, what kind of dog is that?" And he's like, "Oh, cool," and just walks away. So
Nice.
that was kind of funny.
That's cool.
But it is cool that all the film stuff that goes on in Atlanta now, you just see people like that all over town.
Yeah. Dude,
But
speaking of that, I was playing PC the other day, and I heard something outside, and I opened my window, and Will Smith
oh, was in your yard?
banging on the window.
Dude.
It's like, "Hey, dude, cool window."
Yeah.
Like, cool, man.
Yeah, that's pretty
He
cool.
just-
Did you just walk away after that?
He just left.
He's known to do that.
I knew it was him though, because I saw on our neighborhood flyer they passed out. They were like, "Will Smith was here." I was like,
Oh,
that was
he was just hanging out.
Yeah, he's
Just knocking on windows.
knocking on windows.
It's cool.
So
I wish that would happen to me.
that's my little celebrity thing.
I'm sure he would have knocked on my window by now, but it's too high, and he probably doesn't have
He
a
is
ladder.
Hancock.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You can fly up there. So
Maybe he will one day.
maybe
I'll talk about the news.
I'd love to. This is the It's Obvious Gaming podcast, the show where typically my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games and other subjects. Please subscribe to us over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. That would mean a whole lot to us. We really want to get that subscriber count up. You can listen to this podcast weekly on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, Audio Boom, and pretty much every other podcasting service. Please check the description down below for links to our social media pages, our PlayStation names, pretty much anything you would ever need to get in contact with us. And like I said previously, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to like and comment as well to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out tremendously. And I guess with all that out of the way, hey man, tell me about that news.
Battlefield 5. It exists.
It's coming.
It will be officially revealed and unleashed upon the earth on May 23rd.
How hyped are you?
I'm pretty hyped.
Are you?
I mean, I'm not freaking out, but
I'm like right here.
I really, really liked Battlefield 1. And if this is in fact World War II, not only will I be excited for the setting, but I will be excited for the also potential Battle Royale mode in Battlefield.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Garrett. I don't know what it is about Battlefield. I'm awful.
You're awful.
I suck at Battlefield.
Now, are you playing on PC or console?
I haven't really dedicated any time to PC.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily good at all at first-person shooters on PC yet because I just haven't had a lot of practice with them.
Mhm.
I have my moments where I
Yeah.
can occasionally do good things, but on console, where I think I'm pretty good at FPS, I've always been awful at Battlefield. Now, granted, I'll have a few games where I do good, but just overall, I constantly feel myself getting shot in the back or sniped from far away. So I think I don't play enough Battlefield to really know how to
Navigate the map without getting shot in the back.
Exactly. So I pretty much every time a new Battlefield game comes out, like Battlefield 1 looks awesome, and I never really picked it up because I've always had that problem with Battlefield. I can never really do good in them, so I just kind of tend to stray away from them. So,
Well, does the prospect of World War II pique your interest for Battlefield?
Yes, but
I mean, Battlefield 1 arguably is World War II, sort of. I know it's World War I and it's like the time period, but you could argue that it sort of feels like a World War II game.
Yeah. The main thing I'm hyped about is I hope they do like a D-Day vignette.
Me too. They need to
done justice.
If they really want to bury Call of Duty World War II, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
So, and they have the potential to do it. I mean, even in the multiplayer, it feels like a war is happening. So why could they not apply that to a vignette story? They have to do it.
Yeah. I'm more into kind of faster paced stuff as well. And there's just a lot of kind of just running around the massive battlefields in that game. So
I like certain game modes that make it feel like constantly hectic. Like I can't remember the game mode. It's called like Control or something. It's basically
Rush. Is that it?
And there's Rush is the one where you pursue the objectives and the map opens up more as you move forward. That's really, really awesome. I like that game mode as well. But also the one where it's basically domination but with additional capture points. That's a lot of fun as well. So yeah, just the idea of it possibly being World War II is exciting. Yeah. So I mean, it won't kill me if it's not World War II, but I'd like that.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. I always either play the beta or just give all the Battlefields a try. So yeah, and if it has a battle royale mode, then I'll probably try that out as well. And
they're already a step ahead of Call of Duty, where they have all those assets in the game already. vehicles and weapons and stuff. Now, granted, they don't have the attachment side of things, but it's the thing people have said.
The Battlefield guns, you can do attachments.
You can, yeah, that's true. I guess I'm thinking of I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot there were attachments in Battlefield. Yeah, there's like various scopes and
decent
stuff.
Customizability for the weapons.
People have said, which I don't blame them for saying this, but they said about Blackout specifically, they're like, well, how is this different from Battlefield where it's just giant maps with vehicles and guns? I'm like, with a you have one life and you die. I mean, obviously that's Battle Royale, but that's a fair argument to make. Like, how is this going to be different from Battlefield?
So, I mean, they just feel different.
They feel different. Like we said, it's the combination of all the old school Black Ops maps. That's different. Perks, like we said. So stuff like that.
I'll be interested to see Battlefield. I'm sure Battlefield will have the destructible
environments.
Environment will be kind of granted, I know you can do that in Fortnite as well, but
yeah,
you know what I mean.
So I'm excited to find out more. Yeah, we will see. How'd you feel about before we talk about the gameplay trailer, how'd you feel about the Rage 2 reveal trailer?
I mean, it's whatever.
I thought it was just kind of funny.
Yeah. I definitely can see they're trying to push it in a different direction than not that the first one didn't have.
It reminds me very much of Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely trying to make it that goofy post-apocalyptic type of feel. Granted, not that the first Rage was non-existent from that. It did have those moments, but it was a little more serious than what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's like it's taken to the next level now.
Yeah, so I think it was cool. Like I said, I thought Rage was a little sort of I'm looking for underhyped. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Underrated?
Underrated. That's exactly the word I'm looking for. I think Rage is a little underrated, so
I agree. I mean, I know you and I both had fun with it. So
it didn't like blow my mind or anything. Right. It was a solid shooter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even back then we were talking like, this is pretty solid, but I mean, I never like outright said like, what else could they do with this world and these characters and this type of gameplay? But I'm sure subconsciously at some point I thought like, this is a pretty good idea. If they expanded, it could probably be even cooler. Yeah. So now they have a fully open world. Yeah. We've seen a bit of gameplay in the gameplay trailer. It looks insane, but it looks really fun. So I mean, it's hard. I haven't really analyzed every frame of the trailer, obviously, but the vehicles are there, the weapons are there, the disc blade is back, which is satisfying. Is that what it's called? Yeah. There's giants. Were there giant enemies in Rage 1? Yeah. Okay. I don't remember.
They weren't like common there. I think there was a giant boss thing that you fought. A very, very easy boss fight.
So this sounds and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'm sure maybe we'll see an actual demo at E3.
Oh, for sure. I'm glad they kind of got the reveal out of the way, because I'm very hopeful and almost positive that we're going to get a really massive BGS reveal at E3. So I think they kind of just were revealing. I know it was leaked by Walmart, but Pete Hines came out and said they were revealing it that Friday anyways of that week. So they kind of adapted to the leak and revealed it just a little bit earlier. But I do think that they're just getting this game out of the way. We'll probably see another demo. I don't think they're going to do like a deep dive into this game E3. Just getting it out of the way because, like I said, I have a feeling they're going to reveal Game Studios' big game.
That's a perfect segue.
At least I really hope so.
Yeah. Lyric writes in and says, with the announcement of Rage 2, do you guys think that this is Bethesda's big announcement and was Project Starfield? Or do you think Rage is a bit of a distraction and we will get Starfield announcement at E3?
Yeah, definitely. This definitely isn't their big game. It can't be their big game. The first was just a whatever game. I think it's cool that they're trying this franchise again. We'll see how it goes this time. I think putting Avalanche on it is really cool. That was my biggest worry of the reveal of Rage 2 or the leaks of Rage 2 is that this was just its next game and we were going to have to wait even longer for a Doom 2. And I know they are in collaboration with Avalanche, but who knows to what extent that is. Maybe just like, oh, we're helping you with the id Tech engine. We're just kind of
here's how you make a first person shooter.
Exactly. So I really hope we'll get like a Doom 2 announced.
Me too. I will, especially if there's heavy metal, man. The good old Mick Gordon soundtrack.
A Doom 2 announcement. The Prey DLC already confirmed. Did you see the trophies
for Prey?
Yeah. The achievements on Steam, the game has already been updated with a ton new achievements that all have to do with moon like and stuff. Yeah. So we're going to the moon in Prey, which I'm hyped for. I actually just bought Prey for PC and I'm playing through that again. So
maybe I'll play through that as well this summer.
Yeah. It's a fun game. Like I said, with the aiming issues resolved on PC, it's a way better game in my opinion than it was on console.
Cool.
But the DLC for that, a Doom 2 announcement, then a Starfield announcement.
I'll poo-poo. I will poop.
Yeah. And the hints of a Fallout 3 reimagining. Have you heard that?
No.
Either there was a Switch leak, which I don't know how credible it is, but them saying Skyrim did so well on Switch that they're going to port Fallout 3 to Switch, but that might also lead to them.
Why is it not New Vegas?
Them also lead to a Fallout 3 just a little upres or whatever, which Fallout 3 needs an upres on PC because it is just getting, I didn't go into this, but getting that game to even run on modern hardware was just me watching several YouTube videos on trying to figure out how to get the game to even boot. So they need to at least update the game to run on modern hardware because I had to like make it think that I was on Windows XP and stuff to get it running. It has to use Windows Game Center, which is just effing up every game I play now. Every time I start a game, the old school Windows game comes up and I can somewhat see my cursor at the corner of the screen now. So it's already, I'm going to have to uninstall that anyways here in a little bit. But I would be up for a Fallout 3 update of some sort. But yeah, I want to see Starfield just like everybody else. I want to see a new IP by Bethesda Game Studios so bad just to kind of see what they can do outside of Elder Scrolls and Fallout.
Yeah, agreed. I think this is the year. I agree.
Yeah, I hope so.
So Lyric, I imagine you're a believer as well. We're going to see some Starfield. If it's even called Starfield. Is that like a confirmed title? Is that like a
code name? That's the name that's been floating around for forever.
Yeah. Okay. We're very close to finding out.
I know. Dude, E3, so
it's like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks out.
Gosh.
I think it's 3 weeks.
So hyped, dude.
Yeah.
Love E3.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was demoed by multiple outlets this week, and people had a lot of positive things to say about it. Essentially, I mean, me and Jacob would kind of flirt over this subject if you were here, but they described the combat as a kind of a combination of all the past games put together. I can't remember all the details, but while I was reading it, I fully understood what they were talking about, and it sounds great. I think, obviously there's the typical like hack and slash with the Keyblade, but there's also, the magical abilities that can chain attacks and you can fly around and stuff and do cool stuff.
I can flirt with you a little bit on this subject. I think it looks really cool.
It does.
Like I said, I never even beat Kingdom Hearts 2. I came so close, and as you know, if you've listened to the podcast, I don't have really a strong nostalgic connection, or I'm not super invested in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, but I am very interested in this game. I do think it looks awesome. The only snippet I saw was fighting the Titan, I think, from the Hercules levels, him running up the walls, and he gets to the top of the guy and was jumping on him, and then he called in the roller coaster to shoot at him and stuff, which it looked really cool. So I'm definitely interested in this game for sure.
Yeah, and all the worlds they revealed so far I think are cool, with Big Hero 6 and Tangled and Toy Story, and obviously Hercules is back. So
and Wreck-It Ralph.
Yes,
I saw. I don't know if there's a world of him, but I saw him in the game, so I don't know if he's just a summon or whatever.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Apparently, we're going to hear the release date very soon.
I did see some people were retweeting Tim Geddes on Twitter. He said this was the most negative thing, which is funny coming from Tim, with him being such a massive Kingdom Hearts fan. He said it felt like a PS2 game, but looked like a PS4 game.
That's funny. Jacob said that about Dream Drop Distance or whatever it was, whatever Kingdom Hearts spin-off game he had where he was playing it.
Did he actually play the new edition, like the preview? Or is he?
Yeah, it was that.
And he said that as well?
Because I remember that was described, so this will give you a taste of what combat will be like in Kingdom Hearts. And that's been a fear of mine, I'll admit. Not that I wouldn't say...
He's the only person I've heard say that. All the other previews have said it plays very smoothly and stuff, so I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
I think he said Mario Odyssey controlled weird too before he got that game. So this...
And I loved Mario.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just the only person I've seen say that. So.
All right.
Who knows?
Yeah,
it looks like it controls smooth to me. Just looking, granted, I haven't played it, just based on looks. But what do I know?
When they say it'll be announced very soon, I don't know if they mean...
I think they said the beginning of next month, which would be E3.
E3, exactly. That's what I'm wondering if they mean just E3 or just maybe slightly before E3. I don't know. I don't know what the difference would be.
If it's not revealed before the Square Enix video that they release, then I would have to think that it would be in that.
So, for sure.
Which makes me feel like it's going to be revealed before, because why wouldn't they just say it's going to be revealed at E3? So this year?
That's so hard, dude. I don't know if it's going to be early. I mean, at the latest, it'd be early
Kingdom
next
Hearts
year.
Have that brand recognition punch to fight with the big dogs this holiday season?
I don't think it does. I mean, there's a huge fan base, and I'm one of them.
Massive fan base.
But I mean, especially worldwide as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it probably does. Yeah, I don't know if that's the thing. I feel like it would make the most sense. I was thinking November or at the latest early next year. But I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think it's gonna be tail end of this year.
Same here.
So cool.
I think November.
All right, I'm gonna predict the same.
Okay.
November. I don't know what day of the week this is. 15th.
Okay. I bet you that's a Thursday.
Okay. You think you're looking it up right now?
You're just whipping out the calendar.
Okay.
You can go ahead while I'm looking this up.
Boss Key is no more. This is a statement from Cliffy B. I'll read through it real quick if you guys haven't heard it. This kind of saddened me a bit because I think Cliffy B is a cool dude and I've been a fan of his games for a long time. But it's understandable why they're going down, but hopefully he returns to the industry at some point because I think he has a lot to offer to video games. Anyway, as a statement from Boss Key, or specifically Cliffy B, he says, as of today, and this is last week, Boss Key Productions is effectively no more. 4 years ago, I set out to make a world-class video game studio, and I hired some of the best talent in the video game industry. They worked tirelessly and produced quality products, and while we had our ups and downs, I'd like to think we had fun doing it. Lawbreakers was a great game that unfortunately failed to gain traction, and in a last-ditch attempt, we scrambled to do our take on the huge Battle Royale genre with Radical Heights, which was well-received. However, it was too little too late.
What?
As for myself, I'm going to take some time off and reflect. I need to focus on myself and family, as well as my Aussie, Teddy, who is slowly fading from us. Video games will forever be a part of who I am, and I hope to make something new again someday. However, I need to withdraw and take this time. To those of you that have supported myself and the studio these last 4 years, thank you from the bottom of our heart and everyone who came to work for me. Please note that the servers for Radical Heights will remain up for the near future. Thanks again, Cliff.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter, and I saw he posted a picture of something, and I just knew. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Just the second I saw him post something big. But that obviously sucks for everybody involved in that, losing your job or losing something you've been, working hard for. And they did work hard in Lawbreakers. I think that's a great game that just came out at the wrong time.
Yeah, wrong time.
Wrong time and everything. But you know, wish him and all those guys well, and I look forward to seeing what he can do in the future. Did you see any of the concept art or the ideas he had for some games?
I did. Some of them were kind of interesting.
Yeah. I thought the Dragon Ninja Samurai thing actually looked pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back at some point. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, sucks.
I don't know if he'd wind up at another studio already established, or if you try to build it from the ground up again. I feel like if you've done it once and it's failed, I wouldn't want. I personally, I can't imagine what went into not only building a studio, producing a game at the caliber of Lawbreakers. In between all that madness was insanely hard. So maybe he'll go to an established studio. I don't know.
I liked his I know other people have said it, but just him talking about pitching ideas to publishers, how a lot of them are, this is too similar, or this is too outside the box, where we don't really have anything we can compare it to decide if this is a good investment or not, and how that can be pretty frustrating for the creator, or somebody trying to be creative and stuff. So,
and I get it. It's hard. It's like people trying to pitch films. I mean, not everything can get made, unfortunately, just due to the times. And like they said, how will this sell compared to other stuff and everything? So
I guess you have to kind of just drop down to that AA where you can be a little bit more creative and kind of prove the concept. Then you can go up to the high caliber publishers and, you know, actually have proof like, hey, this can make money. We can do this.
We'll wind up like the Mojang guy from Minecraft, make the cult indie hit that goes just grows to the point of insanity, and Microsoft buys it. So that's, I'm sure, most game developers' dreams to be that successful.
But back to our previous topic. Thursday is indeed on November 15th. So,
nice, good guess. In that case, I'm going to cycle it back to Tuesday the 13th.
Okay.
But that seems like a weird day. The 13th doesn't seem like a right kind of number for Kingdom Hearts. Maybe the week before that.
Maybe the Friday. Maybe the 16th.
Yeah, perhaps. If not that Friday, it'll be the Tuesday before the 13th.
Into like Mickey Mouse or something.
Yeah. Something like that. Metro Exodus has been delayed to 2019. Unfortunately. But I will be going hands-on with it at E3. I'm very excited.
That is exciting.
I will also poop doing that.
Oh, wow.
So I still need to finish. That's what I'm doing first is
2033.
Yeah, 2033, and then
you beat Last Light though, right?
I did beat Last Light. I'm at the librarian part in 2033. Like I'm in there with them right now. Is where I stopped. So, how close am I to the end of 2033? I'm at the librarians.
Honestly, I can't tell you.
Okay.
It has been
so long.
I'm talking like my sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
When I last played that.
So that's where I'm at. I'll finish that and then jump into Far Cry. But
nice.
A message from 4A Games and Deep Silver says, the development of Metro Exodus is progressing well. We are all really excited by what we are seeing, their statement read. We've been constantly reviewing the game's progress to ensure that we deliver a project that the gamers and fans of the Metro series want and deserve, as well as keeping an eye on announcements from our competitor products. Go on to say, we want everyone to be able to experience what is the most ambitious Metro game to date at its absolute best, and therefore we have taken the decision to move the release date to Q1 2019. Now, what I think is interesting is, have they delayed it because obviously, typically, always, they need more time to polish the game, but they also go on to say, we want to deliver the game the Metro series people want and deserve, as well as keeping an eye on announcements from our competitor products.
Yeah. That Metro would get smushed.
I guess I read that wrong, because I'm thinking, are they trying to add something to the game to appeal to a broader audience that their competitors are doing? Or I guess obviously they're wanting to release it later so it doesn't get smashed by Red Dead and Call of Duty and Battlefield and everything.
From that,
I guess I'm just thinking of it differently, but that's obvious. That's definitely the case.
That's my initial thoughts hearing that.
So understandable. I get that.
Metro
excited
clearly it makes them money. I think it has enough following to make money because they're on the third game in the series. It has to be doing something commercially right, and it's critically always received well. But I don't. It's definitely not a gaming powerhouse for sure. Go up to anybody in the street. I'll say maybe 1 out of 20 might know what Metro is. At least that's what I think. So I think a Q1 of that sweet spot in January or February that people have been releasing kind of lesser known titles and recently, I think is a perfect spot for this game.
I agree. I'm quite excited.
Me too.
What do we have?
Metro's a great series. You can, dude, that if you haven't played either of the games, that the Redux bundle is on sale, I swear, literally every week for like $5. So
Totally worth it.
give it a try.
I'm glad I invested.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky is launching on Xbox on July 24th and includes multiplayer in the, quote, next update. Not like the next update, but their update called Next. And they say all the stuff you'd imagine you can do, or you can explore planets with your buddies and build outposts with that update they had previously, and you can encounter random players on different planets.
So it's the game we thought we were getting.
Yeah. So No Man's Sky truly was an alpha released as a $60 game. But yeah, we've been there, done that with our thoughts on that.
You're going to give this a try?
Probably not. Unless people are raving about it, maybe I'll jump back into it, because there are aspects I did really enjoy about No Man's Sky.
I think overall I liked No Man's Sky.
Yeah, me too. I mean, because we knew what we were getting into.
Yeah.
I liked just the lonely, serene feeling of just flying through space and landing on a planet that you're there all by yourself on. It's just kind of a cool feeling. Especially supported by the killer soundtrack. I thought the music was awesome in the game. So if people like the next update, then perhaps I will reconsider dabbling in it once again.
Same.
I'm not holding my breath on that one, but
I'm going to say it's not going to happen, but good for them. I hope the audience that is stuck with that game really enjoys this update.
Right. That brings us to community questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your days to send us questions for this show or Ask IOG, which you can count on in the summer, because like I said, I will have a lot more free time. So we'll get that back on track, and that'll be good, because we have a giant backlog of questions to get to, which we greatly appreciate. Please send them coming, even if you know it's not going to be read for at least a few weeks or perhaps months or even a year. We will get to them eventually. I think on our last Ask IOG episode, I used a couple questions that were over a year old, but were somehow still relevant because they weren't tied to like a specific event or game or anything. So anything comes to mind, send it our way. We'd love to hear from you.
What happened to your Dark Souls 3 box? Things like destroyed.
Where?
On your little shelf right there.
I'm pretty sure I broke that at one point playing Dark Souls. That's probably what it was.
Nice.
But if you want to reach us to have your question read on this show or Ask IOG, you can reach us in one of three places. You can email us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at obvious_gaming, or you can submit your questions in the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel. And when you send these questions to us, always include the hashtag AskIOG. That is ASK capital IOG. So we know you want your question read on the show. I can't speak. The longer we talk, the less I can speak. All that other way. First one comes from Marble Chicken. Marble Chicken says, "What's going on, boys? With E3 almost right around the corner, and with the millions of comments on their Instagram posts, and I mean literally every single post, do you think EA will ever release Skate 4? It's been 8 long years since its predecessor, and I still dabble in it from time to time whenever I find myself bored. Let me know what you think." This has got to be the year. I know I've been saying that for 3 years now.
I don't know.
This is the one.
I think inevitably it will happen.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna believe that it's happening this year.
Okay.
I believe.
I hope EA just does something at the press conference, because last year I almost bored me to tears.
It was incredibly boring.
And you sat through that whole thing on stream, sat through that entire Battlefront 2 gameplay demo.
That was awful. Yeah. That was the
it was just
worst
over.
Part. Yeah.
So
it was so awkward
hopefully
too.
It's better than that.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully they I don't know if EA even cares, but hopefully they've analyzed how that went and we're like, we need to figure out a way to approach this next year.
More insider diaries.
Yeah, man, those are the absolute worst. We all have to sit through the old FIFA and Madden EA Sports shindig. That is the worst.
What would hype me most about EA? And one of these things is not going to happen 1,000%. I want to see Respawn's Star Wars game. I think that is a chance of happening.
I think it's time. They need it.
I want to see some type of KOTOR something remade or something. Because I really want to play KOTOR, but I can't go back to that game for some reason.
I feel you. I want a modern one. Yeah, absolutely.
So I want that. I don't think that's happening, but I don't even know who would be working on it. But I would like to see something like that. I want to see Anthem, like a deep dive into Anthem.
That's happening for sure.
And I want the resurrection of the NCAA football franchise. That's never gonna happen.
No.
But I would love to see that happen.
I feel you there.
Yeah.
I want is it EA Montreal or EA Motive who acquired the Ragtag assets from Visceral?
I think
I get those two mixed up.
I don't know.
One of the two that starts with an M.
I know Motive helped on Battlefront, right?
They did. They did the campaign side of things.
Well, I hope they don't have it.
Which sucked ass, bro. Yeah.
I hope it's the Montreal then.
Yeah, me too. I think it is Montreal. Okay. Maybe it's Motive. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. Correct us in the comments if you guys know. Anyway, I wonder if we'll get like a teaser trailer or just even an announcement like this is what we're actually working on. I don't know. It doesn't seem like an EA thing to do.
It shows like a 3D rendered skateboard just like on a computer screen.
Like the Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
The initial like sort of reveal with like this is a little studio diary that was like 2 minutes long. Just like showed a guy running and a guy at a computer. Yeah. On Skate 4, we're really spending a lot of time bringing the most realistic, immersive skate game to life in history. And it shows like like a rendering of like a truck on a skateboard or something. So I think Skate 4 would be great.
In Frostbite 6 or whatever.
Yeah. And the new Frostbite engine, where even the studio's bitching about having to use Frostbite on anything other than a shooter.
There are no guns in this game. We don't know what to do with this engine.
So we're working on Skate 4, but since it's on Frostbite, we had no choice but to make it first person. So Skate 4 is first person. And you have a gun the whole time too. We couldn't figure out how to get rid of the gun. So you're holding just like a polygon version of a gun while you skate. But Marble Chicken, I like to believe in dreams. I'm a dreamer, and Skate 4 is happening this year. I stand by that. If I'm wrong, I will skateboard into a pit of lava.
I'll hold you to that.
And end myself. Rupert writes in and says, I swear this year has gone by insanely fast. Feels like E3 2017 was yesterday. Side note, Rupert, I feel the exact same. It's crazy how quickly this year has gone by. Rupert goes on to say, anyway, what would Microsoft have to do to pull you boys into their ecosystem? Is there a game or feature that would cause you to log into the Xbox app daily? I've been an Xbox gamer since Halo 2 days, but my current account is 12 years old. A few of my Halo 2 buds have moved to PC, but still always drop into Xbox parties at times while playing whatever. I also remember that you guys mentioning friends who still play on Xbox, but wasn't sure if the ability to join Xbox voice parties from any device with the Xbox app was common knowledge. The app even works with all smartphones. Cheers, EOGs! Rupert, it's weird because obviously as I'm sure most of you know by now, I adore Halo. I've been a longtime fan of the franchise, and even the Master Chief Collection, which I think is solid, I don't go back to play, probably for multiple reasons. Now, if my buddy Zach still lived nearby, he and I would undoubtedly dabble in that at least once a week. And I'm not saying that to appease Xbox fans. I mean, I really, really like how far Master Chief Collection has come since launch, because it was disastrous at launch, at least on the multiplayer front. But I think it's come a long way, and he and I had a lot of fun with it a month ago when he was here. And I think if I had buddies to play with consistently, I think I'd play it more. Now, of course, I could always jump in online and play with friends, but something about split screen and Halo has always appealed to me more than even just playing by myself online with friends. So if you were here, I'd play more of it, but I like Halo 5 a lot. But for some reason, I don't go back to play that often. Gears 4 was fine. It just felt like more Gears to me, so that didn't keep me engaged. So I don't know what it would be from Xbox specifically. Probably Fable. I know I'm talking about IP at the moment, but I think Fable, which I think we both believe that it's going to be announced, at least teased at E3. Mm-hmm. I would definitely log in daily to play that when it comes out, so that'd be nice. But aside from Halo, I don't know if anything else can pull me into that ecosystem. I hate to say it, unless there's a killer IP that comes out that just blows everyone's minds. Like PlayStation has a ton of great first-party IP that are just excellent. So it would take that level of development of their first-party lineup to bring me back into it, aside from Halo and Gears.
What does he mean by the Xbox app?
I believe there's a mobile app where you can communicate with your buddies that have Xbox accounts through the app. Kind of like Nintendo Switch's idea.
I mean, okay.
I think. I don't know much about that, though.
I mean, this might not even relate to the answer, but anything Xbox console related, unless Fable comes out, the next Halo comes out, and they're like, this isn't on play anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would take me back to Xbox.
I totally
if everything from this
point
out is on PC,
It's going to be. I'm going to play on PC.
Dead to me.
Yeah,
it's literally dead to me.
That's a great point. I totally had forgotten that's a thing, and I'm in the exact same boat.
I mean, it would be, especially with our computers now, it would be stupid for us to go back to Xbox. Even the Xbox One X, our computers are better than that thing. So it would still, just performance wise, it would be stupid to go to that thing.
Yeah, that's a great point, Rupert. I don't think anything's going to bring me back into the ecosystem if every title's play anywhere. Yeah. Now, like I said, if Halo's only on Xbox, I'm going to be playing on Xbox.
Same here. Same here.
Same with Fable, but I'd imagine an RPG the caliber of Fable would wind up on PC as well. And with their new Game Pass thing, I feel like.
I mean, just based on what they've been doing, I don't see all of their games going to PC.
Yeah, so I mean, one could argue I'm playing an Xbox IP just on PC. So
that's fine. I'm not gonna hate the IP just because it's like a Xbox console game.
I mean, and that way you can kind of still say that you're in the Xbox ecosystem because you're playing a game that's on Xbox.
That. Sure, I'll sign into my Microsoft. I'll do all that crap all day long. I'm just gonna do it on computer.
Yeah. So I think it just comes down to the games, just like with PlayStation, any gaming platform, it comes down to the games.
Any PS4 exclusive on my PC,
I would
buy PlayStation. Yeah, buy.
Would you say goodbye to your trophies? Are you cool with just Steam achievements?
I mean, I'm assuming if it was on PC, it would have.
Okay, you're thinking of it if like PS4 had to play anywhere.
If PS4 did what Xbox did, then buy PlayStation. Yeah. Like he's gone. There's no.
He's gone.
There's no need. So
I agree.
That's both on both things. So
Preston, my back is obliterated, man.
I'm sorry.
I've been talking about this for years. I have got to find a solution to this. I sit like a troll.
You go to a chiropractor. A chiropractor.
I need to go to one because I'm not going to be able to walk by the time I'm 30.
Dude, that's one of my... I get recommended chiropractor videos on YouTube. I guess I watched one, and YouTube's like, this dude loves the chiropractor thing. So I'll watch one like every once in a while if some dude just getting freaking cracked and stuff. I want to have it done just to see.
I'm so tired of having to slouch over like a
mountain
troll.
I think that might do something for you.
That's the thing. I could get my back tweaked and masseused a bit, but I'm still sitting like an ape in this chair because my torso's so long.
Maybe you should get like I know it sounds funny, like a back brace. Dude, Shark Tank had a product that corrects your posture.
Yeah, I've seen that thing.
It literally hooks on your arms and goes behind your back, and it literally makes you stand straight. Maybe you should try that.
This thing, I can choose to stand and sit straight, like right now.
You wouldn't even have to choose with that.
Like it makes you.
You do it.
But like, look at this. Look. Apologize to the audio listeners. I'm sitting up very proper. Yeah. I can sit with good posture if I choose to.
Maybe we need the boom things.
I need to get either invest in those, which I don't know why we haven't done that. We need a bigger table
and we need boom things.
There are so many things we should have invested in by now. I'm glad we got a new mixer, but like the lamp and
we need a bigger area with a bigger table.
We're using a table with a blanket on it. But yeah, those boom seems to be nice. But in the meantime, I guess I could start stacking my mic on books again, like I did for a little while. Because my mic's so low on the table, and this is as high as it goes on the stand.
I mean, you have a mic thing. Why don't you just use it?
I do, but it's I guess I could use it.
Yeah.
I don't use it in there anymore. So because whenever I do streams, I just wear my little
lapel.
My little lavalier mic.
Let's just use those.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe I'll whip out the old.
Anyways, we should move on. Next question.
Okay, yeah. What time does I have to leave?
3:30.
Okay, cool.
We got 25 minutes.
Cool. Rupert, thank you for your question. Kinderek writes in and says, "Hello, goobers.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you about your favorite games on the Switch. Got a brand new one and nothing to play except Mario, which I played to death already. If you could give me some good ones and even any unreleased ones you know of that I can keep my eye on. Also, can someone tell me where to get Baja Blast? It sounds super rad and tasty. Thanks." There's no.
You're missing one massive game, sir.
Yeah, don't play. This I think this is a female, unless it's a man masquerading as a female. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
Please confirm, Kinderek. Don't play Zelda. It sucks.
Yeah. So don't play that. I was trying to be funny and think of some shitty game on Switch.
Me too, but I couldn't think of anything other than that.
Obviously, Breath of the Wild. Like, why don't you have that already?
Yeah.
Xenoblade's good if you want a good long RPG on the Switch.
People are really enjoying Stardew Valley on Switch.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there for the audience that does enjoy it.
It's coming to Vita. Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze.
Donkey Kong, for sure.
There's a
Mario Kart.
Here's another one. Celeste is really solid. Okay. I got to finish that too.
Sonic Mania is awesome to have on the go. It's a really good game.
There's another one. Rocket League, dude.
Yeah.
That's on there.
Bayonetta.
If you want to play with your bros at the frat party.
Bayonetta.
Yes.
It's a good one. We got Smash Bros coming out.
Isn't there a Kirby coming out?
Kirby's out.
Okay. What about that Yoshi game? Isn't there a Yoshi game?
I think it's coming out.
Okay.
I don't know when. This rumored Pokemon Go Pikachu Eevee edition.
Skyrim, if you haven't already played it.
Yeah.
Doom. Isn't Doom on Switch?
Doom is on Switch.
Wolfenstein 2
is coming out.
Is coming,
the
yeah.
PlayStation 1 version of Wolfenstein 2 is coming out.
Okay.
I think we hit the big ones. I mean, the main ones were Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, Xenoblade.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart's huge. Yeah, all those. Yeah. Those are honorable mention Celeste if you like old school platformers. It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that helps, Kindereg. Thank you for your question. Nikolai Fogg is back. It's been a while.
Whoa.
Nikolai says, I have a few questions for you sexy animals today. The first one is about God of War. We all know it's a masterpiece, but is it good enough to have joined your guys' personal top 10 games of all time? It certainly has joined my own. We agree that it's a masterpiece.
Yes.
There are people out there that don't. I understand certain people's criticisms. Mm-hmm. Again, we're civil human beings here. We're able to have conversations with people that disagree with us.
Yeah.
And
I think the minor nitpicks that some people have, I think, just don't really bother me.
Yeah, they don't bother me either.
In the slides, I know there are some story things that people have gripes with, but I don't necessarily think they're that big of a deal. I think the overall game is so freaking good that you literally have to get very nitpicky to get into that, and I don't think that affects the overall experience at all. I would have to obviously go through, but just based on how God of War has resonated me, just blending its excellent addictive gameplay with its incredible narrative, that I think narratively it's the best game of this generation for sure. This console generation, PS4, Xbox One generation, hands down, and I think it's only rival in that category is The Last of Us. I probably, if I just sat down and did my top 10, I'm sure it would be somewhere in there for sure.
Me too, absolutely. I'd go as far as to say it's in my top 5.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to go through that. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was playing Fallout 3 and I was just like, oh my God, this game is so freaking good. Granted, I'm not, that's not a, I don't want to have a discussion if that's like my nostalgia blinding me. Just, I don't care if it is or not. Me playing the game, my personal choice, I think it's just such a fantastic game. I was trying to rank it in my top 5 and I was going back and forth. And honestly, when I was in that discussion, God of War didn't pop into my head. So I think maybe if I thought about it, I might think of it in there, but I think in my top 10 for sure. I think it has to be in there. Definitely. That's a game that's one of those games that one game, I think that this God of War could be at every generation that just really sticks with you. And I think when I look back on PS4, I'm going to think of God of War.
Totally.
So,
about Fallout 3 real quick. Almost, not every night, but most nights when I run sound, when the final band finishes and I just have to strike the stage, I always play the Fallout 3 soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's awesome.
And every now and then someone will like give me like the tip of the hat when they know what it is. So, yeah, it's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Big finale comes from Bohongeles, Mr. Kyle. He says, hello, actually, I don't know if I've actually even read this question yet. Not sure. We're in for a surprise here.
All right.
He says, hello, you scrumptious hunks of meat that I may or may not want to engage in sexual relations with.
Whoa.
Kyle, you're not alone. I think about Jacob provocatively, fairly often. What's your guys' opinion on crossplay? With Fortnite being such a huge game and allowing crossplay between PC and console, it's closer to reality than it's ever been. I would love to have the ability to play multiplayer games with anyone, no matter what they own, without sacrificing my experience on the master race to play with console plebeians. Would you guys like to see crossplay implemented across all ways to play? And what do you think would it take to get Sony to take the stick out of their ass and allow Xbox and PS4 players to play against each other?
I think for Sony to take the stick out of their ass, they have to start losing.
Definitely.
They have to.
And that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. Do I want it? Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I don't see, there's not really any I don't, besides the business, like, details of it and everything, there's literally no reason not to want to have that. So, yeah, I mean, I hope one day Sony, as you said, takes the stick out their bum.
Now, I hope they never falter. As we know, all game companies seem to have, they ride a roller coaster as far as their success is concerned every generation. So I hope Sony maintains that level of success moving into the next generation. But you're right. Yeah, unless they start falling behind, it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But we both think that'd be cool. Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know if it necessarily impacts me, because all the people I even want to play games with, they either have every console, or if we're going to play a game like that, it's going to be on PC. So it's something I personally don't have to think about, but I do understand the people maybe in school or have friends that aren't as into games as us that have the every console, at their fingertips. If somebody only has a PlayStation and, like you said, you want to play on PC, I can definitely see where that would be annoying. Now, you can play with PC to PS4. On Fortnite? Yeah. Yes. It's just the Xbox. Yeah. And that's what Sony's hung up on. Because Sony has been able to do with Final Fantasy 14, I think Rocket League. There has always been that. It's just Xbox specifically they're not wanting to crossplay with. And I think that's the thing. So, I don't know. It doesn't affect me at all, but I think it'd be cool to. I mean, even Nintendo's doing it. Nintendo's always had a stick up their ass, and if they're doing it, then at some point I would assume Sony's gonna do that. I don't think I've ever said stick up somebody's ass as many times in one conversation as a lot of sticks up asses today. I have a stick up my own ass. I was gonna say maybe that would fix your back. Just stick it up all the way up back here. Some support. Absolutely, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, perhaps I'll give it a try later. There's something I wanted to add right there before we finished. It was important. Oh, wait. What was it? It's on the tip of my tongue, Preston. Oh, Sony. You want to hear a tragic story real quick? Yeah. I lost my PlayStation hat. Oh, no. I love that hat. I have no idea. It's gone. I kid you not, Preston, I would not be surprised if someone swiped it from me. Because you got it at that shop at the mall, right? I got it from Urban Outfitters. Okay. Now I'm going to pay a visit to Urban Outfitters website and see if I can still order it from there, because it was like a limited PlayStation thing at the time. But I loved that hat. It fit perfectly. And this is the thing about hats, is that most of them are handmade. So they all fit slightly differently. Like that hat you're wearing, I've tried on hats like that that are different. The same hat, but different ones. And they all feel different. It's weird. Yeah. So that specific hat may not fit me the same if I order it. And it was just such a cool hat. It was so minimal. And people, PlayStation fans especially, were always like, hey man, I'm a PlayStation fan. It's better than Xbox. I'm like, hey, I think that too. Here's my hat to prove it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hashtag not fanboys. But anyway, I got a lot of compliments on the hat, because a lot of people thought it was just cool, and I liked it too. And I either lost it or someone swiped it from my backpack, because it stays attached when I'm not wearing it to like a little buckle in my backpack. And it could have fallen, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past someone to think it was a really cool hat and be like, I think I'm going to take that man's hat and wear it on my own head, so he can't wear it anymore. Yeah. So I'm really sad about that. I'm hoping I can reacquire it. I'm sure you'll find one. To wear my fanboyism on my sleeve again, or in this case, on my skull. Yeah. You should get a tattoo. Yeah, tattoo the same symbol into my forehead. Yeah. Or carve it. Truly show your loyalty. Absolutely. Yeah. With that note, Preston, that's the conclusion of the podcast. That's great. Thanks, guys, for sending in your questions. And like Garrett said, send them in. Yeah. But keep them coming. Thanks for listening to the It's Obvious Gaming podcast. We really appreciate you tuning in. Please check us out at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. We have tons of content and streams and goodies coming to you this summer on that channel, so you absolutely don't want to miss it. I can assure you we will be some of the best content you will ever see
on YouTube?
Oh, we're going to walk around saying we're content creators. Hey, I'm a content creator on YouTube.
It's my job.
I'm also an influencer. You know what I've noticed is hilarious? Every popular streamer, specifically, men, all wear the same Adidas shoes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Allier. Those ones that you have like 3 pairs of them?
Shit, the enemies.
All of them wear those shoes. That is like the signature shoe of a famous streamer. I wouldn't be surprised if Ninjas.
I'm already halfway there, shoes. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should wear those shoes while you stream, and then maybe we'll be successful on Twitch.
Those are my favorite shoes.
They are cool shoes.
Yeah.
So
they're so hard to get to, which makes me like them even more. It's like a game to find the pair that you like because they sell out so fast. So very comfy shoe. That Ultra Boost. Have you worn any of that?
I've tried them on.
So comfy. So comfy.
They're slick, man.
They are. But anywho, check us out at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. Like I said, lots of content coming your way. Please also subscribe to us on the Apple podcasting service. Jacob's not here to check our reviews, but I'm sure at least one of you have left one since the last time we discussed this. And to that person out there, we appreciate it. Be the next person that leaves us a review, and we'll appreciate you as well. So easy to do so, and it helps us out so much. Check us out on Spotify, like I said in the beginning, other podcasting services, and just check the description down below, or the description of any service you're listening to us on, and all the information's there, readily at your fingertips.
Yes.
Garrett, would you like to leave us with anything else, maybe an inspirational message or anything of that sort?
First and foremost, this was a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
It was.
Thank you for coming all the way over here.
It's always nice to have this guy out of the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate that guy so much. I mean, he's one of the most delicious looking men I've ever seen, but I hate him.
You hate him for that?
Yeah.
All he does is talk about Overwatch and Overwatch stuff. Yeah, it just gets really...
I mean, he's an abomination.
Overwatch, Destiny upsets me.
Yeah.
Ad nausea. So glad to have a break from that guy.
And while he's expelling his fury and his distaste and dissatisfaction with these games, his pecs are just throbbing.
Yeah.
With
veins buckling at his neck.
So,
yeah, it's just disgusting.
And it's I hate him, but I also love him for that same reason. So,
I understand.
I hope he listened to this.
He's like
podcast.
one of those dogs that it's so cute you just want to
squeeze it until its head, brain squeeze out.
Yeah, that's Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all next week.
See ya.